Hey there, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. I'm here with Sam Stein and Marc Caputo, who just reminded us that life is suffering, and life was suffering for all of us who tried to get into the Elon Musk, Donald Trump Twitter tonight, and for all of us who made it long enough to have to listen to it. Sam, Marc, maybe Sam, let's start with you. Why don't you give us some initial thoughts about? Well, maybe let's discuss the pregame first, and then we can discuss the actual game.
Why did you categorize it as suffering? I enjoyed the 40 minutes where I just stared at a computer screen and refreshed it, and then the 10 minutes where I got to listen to some weird techno elevator music vibe before some weird voice in the distance kind of whispered to me, and then it started.
Marc, shouldn't they have figured this out by now? I mean, the Trump people, you deal with them. Like, they watched I believe it was Trump that tweeted about Ron DeSantis's failure to launch on Twitter. Why do you think they didn't learn anything from that?
I mean, surely they thought Elon wouldn't fuck up twice in a row. I mean, he runs a rocket ship company, right? Which I think I said on Twitter, like, NASA should probably double check with SpaceX, like, gut check that equipment. Like, I don't know how it happens. I'm not a tech guy. And while I don't have the ability to instantly tell if someone is lying, I'm skeptical.
Right. But for real, how did that happen?
Attack.
For real, how did that happen? How did that happen? Like, this is crazy. I mean,
he wants to implant a Neuralink in our head. Dude wants to implant a Neuralink in our head. And then they build up the biggest interview, this big deal. Trump and Musk going to be the most ever. Elon's posting yesterday about how they've been doing some test runs to make sure it's all going to work, and just a total nothing.
I think he got infected with the woke mind virus, and Kamala Harris secretly controls him.
Yeah, too many DEI hires. No, it's like you had one job, like, and they knew that this was obviously the one thing you could not afford to do because it happened before.
It's an audio blog also. This is not top technology. I'm not a technologist. No, not to just shout out our paymasters here at YouTube, but you could just do a YouTube live stream. You could just do it's live. It just happens.
Didn't Kamala Harris just have a bunch of like well-populated Zoom calls? Like, what the hell?
Why is this the only technology that doesn't work?
It's unbelievable.
You could have it with someone who's interesting.
This is where
Elon Musk. I would figure Elon Musk would be interesting in this. And I remember when he had DeSantis on, once they finally got the thing working, they were talking about the Chevron deference, which, I mean, yeah, sure, it's important and all of that. I understand, but it's just dull as dishwater. And
can we talk? Can we talk about the sort of the tweets that preceded the actual conversation? Because those were funny. I enjoyed those. I particularly like the Bill Ackman one, where he was just like, he like added real Donald Trump. He's like, hey, at real Donald Trump, please let Elon know we can't join. As if Trump is just sort of like hanging out, like scrolling.
Like he's the doorman. Like he's the fucking bouncer.
Hey, Elon, Bill wants in. Like, what's going on? Like, that's real detached from reality stuff right there. Like, you could just tag your buddy Trump on Twitter and your stuff will get solved.
I would feel that that's detached from reality, except for the fact that Elon does seem to do personal service for like Cat Turd,
but not
and,
at the moment.
Ass Muncher 420 replying to him, just like, Elon, could you please fix the fact that I've been throttled? Like, he does seem to do individual service
like
for
on
random shit posters. Okay, so we get in. Let's go back to it, Marcos. We get in, and the actual interview starts. And again, like, you would think that at least Elon like would have like interesting thoughts, right? Or like want to take Donald Trump to talk about something that's a little bit offbeat, one of his weird interests about space or, sci-fi movies or cars or something. But it's nothing. He's a horrible conversationalist. His questions go on forever. And it was just like, two guys at a bar talking about, will you tell me the one time that you did something great? And then they talk for 20 minutes and there was nothing.
Yeah.
Marc, what did they want to get out of it? Did they think that was there a news peg, do we think?
I mean, it was the same thing with the press conference before, is there's two things to look at. There's the substance and then there is the media as the message. Here I am, Donald Trump. I'm out here. I'm doing new stuff and I'm taking questions, and Kamala Harris isn't. But as far as the Trump team, now don't get me wrong, they would be thrilled no matter what happens, right? They would say they're thrilled. But he is able to talk about immigration, the terms he wants, so they're happy with that. But I mean, the reality is I can't think of one person who listened to this who didn't have their mind made up. I'm not sure whom it persuaded.
I can tell you, I have some breaking news on that for you, Mark. You might want to take this to the campaign. You've been reporting smartly, along with others, on how they're trying to reach out to the kind of like bro influencer crowd. They think that that's the under 50 men types. Well, one of the famous bro streamers who I follow is a homophobic douche named Sneo that has 863,000 followers. I was watching his live stream of Trump, and he was devastated to learn that Trump was for Israel. So Sneako's not exactly Sneako's not exactly splitting the atom over there if he hasn't quite figured out yet that Trump is for Israel. But actually, I think that you're wrong that it didn't change anybody's mind, because at least it had one negative impact. On
the anti-Semites are, what the fuck? I thought he was with us.
Yeah, the bro anti-Semites thought he was with them, and it turns out that was maybe a negative backlash on that. I don't know, Sam, what did you think? The 20 minutes on the ear?
I feel for Sneo. That's a tough break tonight.
Yeah, when your heroes let you down, you know?
Yeah, you do have to have some empathy for that. I kind of really, I'm not trying to say that like this is some great talent that people in this industry possess, but like interviewing people is a talent. Having conversations and trying to elicit information from them and make it interesting and entertaining is something that people do actually work on. And like I can't build a rocket. Like I'm not pretending I can build a rocket, and I certainly can't run X. Although maybe I could run Twitter Spaces just about as well. But like this was not a great, if the Trump campaign wanted to have a sort of humanizing conversation, this was probably not the right place to do it. If they wanted to just grab eyeballs and do something that's like high publicity, sure, that's fine. This works. I will say though, it's like at the most you have like 1.2 million people watching live.
Wouldn't there be more eyeballs on Hannity and then just the replays of Hannity? Trump
has, Fox News has like, 3 times that prime time. So it's like, I'm not and I think the allure of it, the fact that it's happening, that was interesting the first time when they did it with DeSantis, somewhat interesting now because Trump's coming back to the platform. But it just felt like this was, it didn't really move the needle. And I'm not sure really what would at this point, honestly, from a media perspective for Trump. Like he's done it all and he's just going to do what he's going to do. I thought like in terms of substantive stuff, like there just was not much that I gathered.
I mean, 25 minutes rehashing the assassination attempt is a lot. Right. I mean, hey, it was a key moment in his life. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Look, hey, if he was not running for president again, and he's a teetotaler, but if he's just a guy smoking cigars at Mar-a-Lago after around 18, and he wanted to rehash his glory days and tell stories about the failed assassination attempt, and like regale, some super fans. Awesome. Like that's fine. Right. That would be his right. But he's running for president, and I don't know how much that is advancing the ball. I don't know.
But still, I mean, this is, Musk began the interview saying, I'm not going to be adversarial. Okay, fine. It's going to be a conversation so I can get his vibe. Fine. How about ask him, do you ever suspect someone in the Secret Service really let you down on purpose?
That would have been interesting. All right, there you go.
I'd like to know that. If someone shot at me and there was an entire agency that was supposed to protect me and left an entire roof open for a sniper who had been spotted walking around with sniper equipment, rifle.
Here we go.
I would think like, wow, do some of these people who are supposed to protect me want me dead? I'm not saying they do, but I would ask the person that question.
I love Caputo.
This is the uncut Caputo.
Rather than so Caputo's like, if you're not going to advance a message, all right, at least do some light conspiracy mongering to keep me engaged. I just want to feel something. I just want to feel something over here.
I'll just say something. I thought I did have some hopes heading into this because often it's like the easy interviews that trip Trump up, right? Like the people who are just like asking like weird conspiracy oriented stuff, and he's like, but that didn't even happen here. It's like he just and you could tell like Elon was kind of struggling because after like 10 to 15 straight minutes of Trump just kind of going over the story, and he's just kept like, yeah, sure, yeah. He just couldn't figure out when to interject.
Trump wasn't picking up the social cues on when an interviewer goes, yeah. Like we need the Little John in there, like, yeah. What? Sam, I'm disappointed in you. I have to tell you, we're 10 minutes into this, and you've not commented on the Trump Sylvester the Cat speaking style.
With all of that being said, to me, that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they can't buy groceries.
And I think that was like the only interesting thing that was happening. Like, was it a failure of spaces and the sound? Were his dentures loose? Like that's the only interesting question. I think.
I think you need to set, because people need to understand how would you describe this?
He was talking like this.
It sounded like this.
He was talking like this. Yeah. He couldn't say any S's. It's possible I want to put this on Elon. People will be like calling Mark Madden, like, he's got TDS. I'm like, I have TDS, but it might not have been Trump. It could have just been the spaces, the way that they formatted the audio.
It sounded like he had just gone to the dentist and there's still a lot of fluid in there. And they hadn't done Elon's fault thing to drain it. Yeah. It was
the next Republican who is approached by Elon Musk to do anything should say no.
Yeah, right? That's the thing.
Give me money.
At this point, like, I can't imagine anyone except like who's desperate need of some publicity would do this, because you're handing over your entire performance to some non-tested technology, people who don't do interviews, and then on top of that, it's all audio and it's not visual, and I don't know. It's just it's a weird choice.
I also think Elon might have been doing some light ketamine. Like, his pacing was pretty slow.
He fell in the K-hole?
He wasn't in a K-hole, but I just think, microdosing. Or he's really tired. I don't know. Again,
I'm tired.
It's extremely non-engaging.
If you're microdosing, we would have some good conspiracy questions.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I'm
Mark, are there any? I'm kind of curious. Are there any other ones that you would have thrown out there if you could have been Elon tonight and had to, but also not like the Marc Caputo questions where I have a chance to talk to Trump, but Marc Caputo playing Elon? Like, what would you have asked?
Whoa. I would not know how to do that, man. But I would be genuinely interested, and maybe this is boring, on tell me about the assassination of Soleimani. Tell me what it's like to actively push a button on a guy so you can kill him, right? Tell me about. There's stories out there that he kind of told the story about him threatening Putin, but I'd like more about that. Like his interactions with foreign leaders.
Mark, what's the one question? Everyone has this, but what's the one question? If you got one question for Trump, what's the one question?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot here.
I have mine.
What's yours? Why don't you tell yours? Let Mark think about it.
I would have said, Mr. Trump, as far as you know, what is the meaning of life? And I'd want to hear him just sort of ruminate.
He would say to crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the world.
Sir, Mr. Trump, sir. What is the meaning of life?
This would be pegged to my most recent reporting, but you posted the other day about these leakers who are out to damage you. Like, who are the leakers around you?
That's the one question. Come on.
I'm very much detail and daily oriented.
Okay, I would have aimed higher.
I'm definitely asking about Epstein. Okay, Caputo, you mentioned the story. Let's just cover that because it's related to this before we leave.
Good story.
It was about let's not call it a reset. There's some thoughts in Mar-a-Lago that maybe things haven't been going exactly how they would like the last 3 weeks. Maybe they wouldn't say it like that, but that they're going to try some new messaging strategies. This was one of those venues, I take it. Maybe didn't go as they would hoped. What else do they have in their deck of cards down there?
They won't cop to this, but more people more broadly in Trump world will. When Donald Trump is getting up and speaking for 90 minutes at rallies, he's talking about everything, and therefore he's talking about nothing.
Yes.
And the only stuff that gets covered, because the media won't pick it up for its length, and there are other problematic things, like he says fantastical things, he says nonsensical things, some of it's incoherent, some of it are lies. They're kind of like a net negative. They don't really do anything for the campaign, and they drain its coffers. So there's this idea of like, maybe we can get Donald Trump a little more on message to talk about specific issues that he is winning on, for instance, the economy. So on Wednesday, they're going to be doing that. They're also, even though his press conference,
give me a little more color. So on Wednesday, they're going to have an event with a crowd?
They're going to have an event in Asheville, North Carolina. It's supposed to be about the economy.
Okay.
So the question is, since this is not really a rally, it's more of kind of a mini rally, as someone are referring to it. The question is can Donald Trump sort of stay more on message and deliver a message that is going to help his campaign instead of just getting up and freewheeling, for 90 minutes or an hour and 40 minutes, the way he just did Saturday in Bozeman, Montana. There is. I
just want to stop here for a second. Let's stop. Yep. An hour. Because I can't emphasize it. An hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah. It's like Castro length.
Yeah, no, it's the Grateful Dead. It's like a Grateful Dead of speeches. He also, I love it. He also, my favorite aside from the Bozeman speech, because he's like, listen to these Kamala speeches. She just says the same thing. She's like, I got to give you guys some new material. It's like a jam band that's got to play a deep cover every set to keep the guys on acid engaged.
I had so Tim did this podcast, but when I host a podcast, Canon Confessional, I talked to Howard Dean about when he knew he was going to lose.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was when my speeches kept attracting the same crowds, and everyone thought I had become the Grateful Dead. Like they'd all come and like they knew the spots when I would regale them with some stuff, and I knew what made them go nuts. And like I feel like Trump's like that. Like he needs to tell these like crazy side stories and stem winders because he needs that adoration from the crowd, and they love certain things that he says, and that's why he goes an hour and 40 minutes, because he's just going on tangents that he knows they're going to pick up and love.
Well,
but you saying the Grateful Dead made me think of that one.
Yeah.
One of the advisors I talked to said that it's like he views these people as like these are his people, and he owes them a show.
Yeah, the front
and that. But part of that is what gets him in trouble. That sort of Jekyll and Hyde convention speech he gave was a great example of that. He spoke for 19 minutes, and then you could just see this switch flip where he's just like, fuck it. Now I'm going to give the crowd what it wants, right?
Roastmaster.
And he had told a person like afterward who asked him like, hey, kind of what happened? And he said, well, I said the things they wanted me to say, and then I said the things that I wanted to say. And so Mark, the things they wanted him to say, the campaign was like 19 minutes, and the rest of the 92-minute speech was, Donald Trump unplugged.
So Mark, is that why he came back to Twitter and X today? Is he feels like he needs to reach these people in a way that he thinks they want to be reached?
Donald Trump just feels the need to sort of control his campaign more and get his message out more. So the other day when they decided to have this press conference, they weren't going to have that press conference. His campaign had said, okay, look, we're getting hammered in the media. Things are looking bad. Let's have an invite-only elite media and conservative media crew, and we'll give the campaign's perspective on polling and all this stuff with senior campaign advisors. And then Trump himself was like, well, we're going to have all this press here. Why not have a press conference? Right. And the reason he did it is because he wanted to talk and get his message out there. And, and I know some people are going to crush me for saying this, but substance aside, other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln, is the fact that the play was being held at all. Again, the fact that he was up there and the media was the message and he was talking. They still feel, even though NPR found that 162 lies and distortions he made, that the press conference was still a net win because people were talking about him, and they will view what we're doing right now and that Twitter space, as boring as it was, like as a win for them. That is how they perceive it.
I could see that's not Trump. I'm questioning whether that's true about they. You never know. It's one of the problems with talking with Trump world people is that like, are they telling you the truth? But because sometimes yes, sometimes no, right? And Trump himself, though, I could see that, right? Like he's resentful of all the attention Kamala is getting, and thinks that he can take the spotlight back from her.
Well,
I don't know.
Is she getting it, or is it AI?
That's a good question.
That would be another legit question to ask. Like, do you really think AI generated?
I would like to do an 8-question follow up on it. So, like, how do you think that the AI thing worked exactly? And like let's get deep into the plane. You mentioned the plane reflection and how it was missing. Like, talk to me about the mirroring effect and what you think was happening there. All right, guys. Well, It wasn't the fireworks we were hoping for.
No. Just the Spaces is still going on.
It's still happening?
Want you to know, yeah. According to Edgar, it's still going on.
I don't think that anybody needed to suffer through more than what we did. If anything interesting happens in the rest of that space, I'll hit you all up with a breakdown tomorrow. And make sure you subscribe to the feed. That's Marc Caputo and Sam Stein. Low energy Sam Stein tonight.
Oh, come on.
But me and Mark carried him. And we'll see you guys soon.